Dress rehearsal.
All hands, stand by for adventure! Out of the deep.
Sure, it's a thrill to dive for treasure. There's plenty of gold at the bottom of the sea. Sometimes you find it, and sometimes you find something you aren't looking for, like sudden death. Would you risk that? How much is gold worth to you?
Out of the Deep. Strange stories based on the true life adventures of Captain Gunnar Carlisle, noted deep sea diver and soldier of fortune. Tonight's story, the Amazon episode.
This is Gunnar Carlisle, skipper of the Blue Falcon at anchor in home port Santa Monica, California, tied up by fog. Yeah, you have to expect some fog. But you don't expect the other things that have been happening lately. Accidents all, but enough to make the local swabs call us the ghost ship. Bill of particulars? Sure. Sure, if you want it. Last week, one of our diesels was smashed. Accident. 3 days ago, 2 of the crew decided they wouldn't ship for another voyage. Coincidence. Yesterday, 2 others, Larson and Merritt, were found under the dock off Ocean Park. So savagely beaten they'll be hospitalized for weeks. Bad luck? Yeah. Yeah, real bad luck. Too much of it.
Captain! Where are you, Captain?
Don't get in an uproar, Bartlett. I'm here. Why, what's on your mind?
Cable from Lloyd's.
Well, let's see what they have to say. We've probably lost ourselves another job.
I hope not. We need something to keep us going.
To get us going, you mean? Uh-huh. The Calcutta deal's out.
Well, they canceled it.
And it amounts to that. Listen. Imperative you cable immediate acceptance assignment Calcutta by the 17th, or we cancel contract.
We can't make it by the 17th.
I know. But we don't miss the next job. We're not staying here to grow barnacles.
With the run of bad luck we've had, Captain, it might be just as well to stay here until our luck changes.
I make my own luck. And I've got a sneaking suspicion, Mr. Bartlett, that what's happened to us may not be accidental.
What do you mean, sir?
Man, you're my first mate. Haven't you noticed that things have been happening in sequence? There's a pattern to them. First, the broken engine. It wasn't even in use. Engines don't break themselves. Somebody wrecked that diesel. Then 2 of our hands quitting.
Well, they got other offers.
Maybe so, but how about Larson and Merritt getting so badly beaten they'll be in the hospital for weeks?
I saw them today. They said they were slugged from behind with wrenches or something.
Well, there you are. All this has been happening with a purpose. To keep us from sailing.
Well, it looks that way. But is it human purpose or the devil's doing?
Let's not get superstitious about it, Bartlett. We're not a Jonah, and I don't intend to let accidents, designed or otherwise, stop us from getting away soon.
Well, I'm all for it, Captain, but I can't help thinking.
Well, that's what comes from being in port too long. Hey.
Me, sir?
Yeah. Where do you think you're going, Anderson?
Well, sir, since we're not sailing yet, I figured I'd spend the evening ashore. It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so. You better be careful, lad. We can't lose our bosun's mate. Don't forget what happened to Larson and Merritt.
Oh, I can take care of myself, Captain.
Wait a minute. On second thought, lad, I'll go ashore with you.
Fine, sir.
Be good for tight nerves to have a time. Will you stay aboard and keep watch, Mr. Bartlett?
Whatever you say, Skipper.
Okay. I want to find the ship here when I get back, and no more accidents. Don't forget to keep a sharp eye.
Yes, sir. Don't you forget to come back.
Anderson and I steered the dinghy ashore through the fog, then crossed the coast highway to the Anchor Cafe. It's not a bad spot. They don't try to make a month's rent off one drink, and they fill the glasses to the top. Anderson didn't say so, but I could tell he wasn't happy at my sailing along like a convoy. But the evening proved peaceful, and I began feeling a little foolish about my worries. That is, until we crossed the highway on the way back to our dinghy. A car came from nowhere. A big sedan with headlights switched off, aimed right at us. Look out, Captain! Get back! Oh, it missed us by a miracle. Then stopped short under a street lamp. I saw the license.
Look, Captain.
2 men got out and walked toward us. I caught the glint of a gun in the hands of one of them, saw the flashes, and opened up on me. Tried to pull Anderson down, but I was too late.
I'm hit, Captain. My chest.
Anderson fell on me as the men stopped short, and then they started for me.
Look out, Captain.
I reached out for the man with the gun, but the other one grabbed my wrist with a big hand. It had a spread eagle tattooed on it.
Captain!
I turned to see who owned it. Something crashed down on my skull. I was out cold. So cold I thought I was aboard a ship in Arctic waters. No matter how I swung the wheel, there was an iceberg ahead. Blocks of ice kept bouncing on my head. As soon as I'd shake one off, another would bounce back on
Are
it.
you all right, mister? What happened?
A voice from 40 fathoms down was asking questions.
Can you get up, man?
Oh.
Come on, try to snap out of it. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh, my head. Who are you?
A friend. Never mind that now.
Oh,
Feel strong enough to sit up?
yes.
Is this your pal here?
Anderson, how is he?
Not so good. He's been bleeding. What happened to him?
A bullet in his chest. He looks bad. We better get him to a hospital.
I'll be glad to help. My car's right over at the curb.
Thanks. If my legs are okay. Yes, I can walk. Give me a hand with Anderson.
Of course. Better take it easy yourself.
We lugged Anderson into the car and drove to the receiving hospital. They took the bullet out of his chest and dressed my head while somebody called for the police. A young lieutenant arrived and started asking questions.
You say Anderson's a member of your crew, Captain? You sure there was no ill feeling between you?
Look, are you trying to say I shot him and he slugged me? I told you somebody took 3 pot shots at us.
Why?
How should I know? Go to room 37 in this hospital and you'll find 2 more of my crew, Larson and Merritt. They were beaten up yesterday.
We'll check on it. Who's out to get you or your crew, Captain? And why?
So help me, I don't know. I've been on good terms with the other skippers around Santa Monica. We don't get in each other's way.
Mm-hmm. Anybody try to buy your ship recently?
I haven't had any offers.
Are you sure, Captain? Think hard.
Of course I'm sure. Why, the only one who even mentioned buying it, and that was more than a year ago, was my own first mate, Bartlett.
Well, now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, you're off your course. Charlie Bartlett's been with me for years. I can trust him.
I'll have a talk with him. Meanwhile, I'll send out a call on this license number.
Thank you.
Captain?
Huh? What is it, Anderson?
Sorry to leave you short-handed, Captain.
Well, it can't be helped, lad. You'll get well.
Doc says I'll be laid up for some time.
Well, now, don't you worry about it, lad. I'll take care of the bills.
Oh, thanks, Captain. Hate to miss the next voyage.
We're not sailing yet, and I'll sign you on again as soon as your ship's shaped.
Oh, much obliged to you.
Can I take you to your home, Captain Carlisle?
Huh? Well, are you still around?
Still here.
Well, the ship's my home right now, the Blue Falcon.
I'll be glad to drive you there.
You got yourself a passenger, mister.
Stevenson, George Stevenson. I'm an engineer, mining.
Well, thanks for the help, Mr. Stevenson.
Glad to do what I can. Maybe you can do something for me, too.
Name it.
Well, let's talk it over. Aboard your ship.
Stevenson drove me to the dock. Even grabbed the oars and rowed the dinghy back to the ship. I can't say that I liked his looks. Long and lean, with a thin little mustache over a thin little mouth. But you can't always judge a cargo by the vessel, and he was doing me a good turn. Bartlett was still up when we climbed aboard the Blue Falcon.
You're late, Captain. Say,
Yeah.
Your head's all taped up. What hit you?
Oh, felt like a belaying iron.
Weird jinx.
Not jinxed, just getting rough seas.
Didn't Anderson come back with you?
He's in the hospital.
What happened to him?
He was shot by some swab in a car, and I was slugged.
Maybe you're right. Maybe somebody is out to get us.
No maybes about it. Oh, this is the man who took us to the hospital. George Stevenson, Charlie Bartlett.
How do you do, Mr. Bartlett?
Glad to know you, Mr. Stevens.
Captain, I'll come to the point. Would you take on an assignment in any part of the world?
If I could make some money at it, why not?
Are you willing to go down to Brazil and into the Amazon country?
I'll go anywhere that's work for me. If I know what the job is and if the money's right.
Well, the job is taking gold bullion from the bottom of the Amazon River. Your reward? Well, I'm offering you a bonus of $50,000 if and when you return safely with the gold.
No deal.
50,000 is a lot of money, Captain.
When it's guaranteed, yes, this is an if and when promise. If I do any treasure hunting on speculation, I'll do it by myself, for myself. Sorry.
Wait a minute. If your expenses were covered in advance, you wouldn't stand to lose anything, would you?
How about my time? I don't work for expense money.
Now, look. If I were to guarantee this is no speculation, that the gold is actually at the bottom of the Amazon, and that I'll pay you half the bonus if it isn't, would you take the deal?
I might. What about expenses?
Here. Will 5,000 be enough?
Yeah? Well, you carry a big roll, Stevenson.
You could choke a horse.
Yeah, that should cover the trip. Bartlett, suppose you draw up an agreement.
Yeah, right, sir.
Here's the chart. The place is about 150 miles up the river.
Mm-hmm. This would be a wharf built out from the bank?
Yes. It's directly below the shaft of a worked-out gold mine. We can tie up there.
You own the mine?
No, my partner and I were employed there as mining engineers. There was a rich vein of gold while it lasted. We were to share in the deal.
But you said the gold was in bullion, not ore.
Well, we couldn't transport the ore, so we built a smelting plant there. My partner, John Blackston, learned we were to be let out by the mine owners, and they had no intention of giving us our promised share. So we decided to get it our own way.
Oh? How'd you do that?
Well, over a period of time, we managed to throw about 40 bars of the gold bullion into the rivers we were loading. Each bar's worth about $16,000.
That's more than $500,000.
$640,000 to be precise. Blackston and I plan to return later and recover the gold by sending down a diver. That's why I'm hiring you, Captain.
Where's your partner now?
He died on our way back down the river. He was subject to a heart attack. Had an attack one night while standing near the rail, and he fell overboard. I couldn't recover the body. Very unfortunate thing.
NBC is bringing you the true life adventures of Captain Gunnar Carlisle, noted deep sea diver, from Out of the Deep.
We had to hire 5 new hands before we could weigh anchor. I let Bartlett handle that. Somehow the labor supply was scarce, and there was little choice with time precious to us.
Okay, you 5 are hired. Stow your rig in the forecastle. That's all now.
I don't like their looks, Bartlett.
Well, a seasoned man, Skipper.
What's the name of that big hulk, the one with the hard eyes?
He's Mark Ribber. Why?
He's got a spread eagle tattooed on his hand.
What of it? Hundreds of sailors have.
Yeah, maybe. Watch him. Watch him all, Bartlett.
Right, sir. Oh, there's a police lieutenant waiting to see you.
Oh, good. Well, Lieutenant, did you find the car?
We found it, Captain. Abandoned up in the Pacific Palisades.
Oh, that's so? Who owns it?
A doctor in Long Beach. The car was stolen from him yesterday.
Yeah. Nothing to go on then, huh?
Not yet. Well, we'll keep trying.
Yeah, but I'm pulling out of here tomorrow.
We'll check with you when you return.
vessels were overhauled and supplies taken on. And finally, we were on our way southward. George Stevenson stood on deck beside me and watched the fading shoreline.
It's an auspicious start to our voyage, Captain.
Yes, let's hope it ends as well.
I'm sure it will. With all of us, the richer for it. Will we make good time?
Well, everything's in A1 order. We should.
Fine. You know, I'm especially happy over the crew Mr. Bartlett hired. They seem like very fine men to me.
Yeah? Well, you're quite a judge of men, Mr. Stevenson. Stevenson liked the new men all right. All the time we were cruising down the west coast of Mexico through the Panama Canal and out into the Caribbean, he spent his time with the crew. I didn't like it. Somehow I felt like I was standing by a stove waiting for a pot of water to boil.
We're on course, Captain. 3 hours ahead of schedule.
Good, Mr. Bartlett. Have you seen Stevenson today?
Well, he was talking to Gribbow a while ago.
Seems awfully friendly with the crew. Did you hear what they were talking about?
No. They stopped talking when I come close to him.
Well, keep your eyes open, Bartlett. We may be running into squalls. Day after day, we plowed our way through the ocean. And then we were in the current of the Amazon, dipping our buckets for the miracle of fresh water riding on the surface of the sea. We sailed on 200 miles inland, where the Amazon divides, leaving the island of Marajo. We stopped for supplies at Belang do Para, a city more than 300 years old, and took lunch at a sidewalk cafe.
Belang ain't changed much, Skipper. Same old native policeman directing traffic with their important air and short swords. Peaceful, though, eh?
Yeah. Here, Bartlett. Yeah, here and now. Maybe not up the Amazon tomorrow.
Well, what do you mean?
I haven't trusted Stevenson for a minute.
You haven't?
No.
And then why'd you make the deal with him?
To get out of Santa Monica, I guess. Out of the situation that was losing our hands and scuffling our ship. Now, if Stevenson's story about that gold isn't true, and it smells mighty fishy to me, he may want to get rid of witnesses.
But you said he needed us.
Only until the gold is brought up. After that, look out for trouble. My trouble came sooner than I expected. That night I woke up with a feeling someone was prowling near my bunk. I reached under my pillow for my gun. It wasn't there. I found my flashlight and sent a beam around, just in time to catch a big hand with my gun in it. On the back of that hand was a tattoo of a spread eagle. I sent the beam upward into the face of Mark Gribbow.
Well, what do you want?
My gun back first, you thieving scum, and I want some answers.
You're at the wrong end of the gun to be asking questions, Captain. And the only way you get it back is one bullet at a time.
Give me that gun, you filthy swab, or I'll wrap it around your neck.
I wouldn't try it, Captain. Or you'll get worse than your crew got back home.
So, you and your thugs did knock my men out of commission to get yourselves aboard.
Yeah, it's only your imagination. You had a run of tough luck.
What's going on, Captain?
This swab here stole my gun and thinks he's grabbing the helm.
Drop the gun, Gribbow.
Avast, Bartlett, or I plug you like a melon. You'll anchor where you are, too, Captain.
Nobody gives me orders aboard my ship.
Better do what he says, Captain.
Stevenson. The rats come out in the open.
Gribbow, you idiot. I told you to use no force until necessary. Did you have to be so awkward about it?
Stow it. He woke up while I was getting his gun.
Our deal's off, Stevenson. I'm hauling about and heading back to Belang.
I don't think so. Apparently, you still misunderstand the situation, Captain Carlisle. You're no longer giving the orders. I am.
Maybe I don't like your orders, mister.
Stand back, Captain. It'd be very unwise to move any closer. In case you don't understand, let me explain that you and Bartlett are alone. We have your guns. We've also taken possession of all the other guns aboard. The crew are all my men, working for a richer bonus than you could ever pay them.
And you hired Gribbow and his crew to slug and shoot our men back home so they could ship aboard.
Very astute of you, Captain. Doesn't matter now. We go ahead with our diving operations as arranged.
I'll be hanged if I salvage gold for any pirate.
Not hanged, Captain. Shot. And then pitched overboard for the piranhas. I presume you're acquainted with these interesting fish of the Amazon?
I don't scare easy.
I see you are. Then you know how quickly they can strip the flesh off a man's bones, pick 'em clean as a Thanksgiving turkey. No identification, nothing to be traced.
You haven't fooled me, Stevenson. I didn't trust you from the start.
I know. But you made the voyage. That's what matters to me. This could still turn out well for you. Go through with our deal, bring up the gold, and you'll get your money, and nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, you think I'd believe you?
I don't care what you believe. If I get more than $500,000, $50,000 is a small price to pay you. And I'm spared the unpleasantness of disposing of you and Bartlett.
Yeah, what's the use of jawing with them? Let me knock a little sense into their skulls.
Do things my way, Gribble.
No, you...
Captain, I think you're smart enough to accept the situation, not attempt any foolish heroics.
You're holding the tiller, Mr. Stevenson.
Well, you're wise to recognize that. I suggest you go back to your cabin and get some sleep. We have a big day ahead of us.
Once we had all the gold on deck, we were dead men. Not because of the share we'd been promised. That was a drop in the bucket. There was something else about the gold, something that made all the scheming necessary. Morning found us cruising through jungle-lined waters. Giant trees stretched out over us, branches intertwined and matted. In places, the overhanging moss was heavy enough to shut out the light. There were chattering monkeys in those trees and parrots and strange birds of many colors. But aboard ship were 6 armed men against the 2 of us.
Anything we can do, Skipper?
No, not yet, Bartlett, not yet. Play it their way a while yet. You're not a goner while you can stay afloat. As long as they need us, we stay alive. As long as they need us.
We're close to the spot now. Here comes Stevenson.
All right, Captain, the wharf is just ahead. We drop anchor, tie up, and get ready for diving.
I'll break out the diving gear and make it ready.
Aye. Don't forget those heavy leather gloves.
I see. Those piranha are vicious.
Gribble will help you get the captain into the gear, Bartlett.
Easy with that suit, Gribble. It's heavy rubber, but you don't yank at it.
So you're an old diver tender, eh? You're not the only scrub can get a guy in his gear. The sleeves right?
Yeah.
Cuffs are watertight at the wrist. You feel right, son?
Yeah, fine, Bartlett, fine. Put the gloves over them.
The left. The right. Breastplate next, Gribble. Come on. Help me clamp it on.
All right.
You better check the valve on that air pipe.
Right, sir. Some good orders, sir. Now the helmet. Come on, Gribble, lift it.
I'm lifting.
Now I could hardly hear their voices as they fastened my helmet to the neck of my suit.
You have the electric lamp and telephone. Now let's bring the platform over the side. Turn the engine.
They lowered away. 20 feet. 25. 30. Water muddy and current swift. 40 feet. Piranha. A swarm of them brushing by me. 50 feet.
All right below, Captain? Air coming through okay?
Fine, Bartlett. Fine. Keep lowering away. 60 feet. Getting close to the bottom. 70. On the bottom, Bartlett. More line. I gotta look around.
More line it is.
Set up the ground block. Fix my cable on the pulley so I won't have to drag a ton of cable around. Just the part between me and the reel. Something big and round moving out of my way as I walk on the river bottom. A giant turtle. As it moves, I catch a metallic glint. Bend down and feel it. A bar of gold. A solid bar of gold. Drag it to the platform. Put it on. Got one on the platform, Bartlett. Razor. All that day, and the next I found the gold bars, and they hauled them aboard.
3 more of them, Gribbow. Gold. Here, it's $16,000 in every one. Rich man, rich.
Until 38 bars were aboard the Blue Falcon. And then I found the 39th bar. There was a bottle wired to it. Looks like a paper inside. Undo the wire, undo the wire. Bartlett, stand by to haul me up.
Standing by.
Razor. Bartlett, hold her at 60 while I rest. Lot of pressure. Have to keep the bubbles down.
60. Holding the skipper.
I took a long time coming up. Resting at different levels as you have to do in this business. If the operation's too quick, bubbles form in your veins. You have to give them time to disappear, or you're in for the bends, which can paralyze or kill you. But finally I was up, and Bartlett was helping me out of my gear.
You were down a long time this trip, Skipper.
Yeah. Come into my cabin. I've got something to show you. What have they been doing with the gold?
Taking it to Stevenson's cabin.
All right, let's go. Come in, quick.
Yes. What's up?
This bottle. Here, let's have a wrench.
Here you are.
There's a note inside. Maybe important.
Is it?
Listen. To whom it may concern. The gold that lies here belongs to me, Jeffrey Maxson, engineer of the Lopa mine. Proof of ownership is attached. Only one other man knows about this gold, my assistant, George Stevenson. I don't trust him. Should anything happen to me, the finder of this bullion is hereby given power of attorney to see that the gold reaches my wife, Maria, 963 Jefferson Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. And the finder is to have 1/3 for his trouble. Signed, Jeffrey Maxson.
Oh, he had a partner named Blackston, eh? This is why Stevenson had to take over the Blue Falcon.
Yeah, and why he'll try to get rid of us. Tuck this note away safely. Get me back into my diving gear and over the side in a hurry.
But once you bring up that last bar, we're gonna...
No, not yet. You lower the diving platform 10 feet and then swing me around to starboard. After you close the faceplate, stick that big monkey wrench in my back pocket. You got it?
Yes, I got it.
Full steam, men. No time to lose.
Hello, Captain. Stand by the surface. Stevenson's trying to pull out on you, Skipper.
Get away from that motor, Bartlett, or I'll shoot you down. Ship won't move, Stevenson. What's wrong, Gribbow? What's holding her up? I don't know. The captain's pulled something.
Yeah, I think I know. He's taken off the propeller. Isn't that it, Bartlett?
Don't ask me.
Never mind our tender, Carlisle. Pull him up, Bartlett.
Sure, I'll pull him up.
They hauled me up and took the diving gear off me. Stevenson ordered me to put the propeller back. But I wasn't taking orders now. He needed the ship running smoothly before he could afford to get rid of me. But he knew something I hadn't figured out.
Captain, you broke a bottle in your cabin. What was in it? A note?
Who's been snooping in my cabin? You or Gribbow?
All right, Gribbow. Take Captain Carlisle to his cabin. Maybe you can persuade him to show you what he got out of the bottle.
Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Come on, Captain. We'll go to your cabin. I'll be right behind you.
With a gun in my back.
Yeah, you just remember that, huh?
I remembered. I also remembered that the cabin was dark now. Gribbow was right behind me. close enough so that when I left a foot in the doorway, he took a quick dive.
What's going on here?
I can play rough. That's it.
You're nuts. You can't get away with it. Oh.
I owe you, Gribau, for a slugging in Santa Monica and for what you and Stevenson did to Jeffrey Maxson.
Oh, I didn't kill Maxson. It was Steve. Oh.
He didn't continue. He wouldn't ever continue. The shot had come from the doorway where Stevenson stood with a gun in his hand.
You're next, Captain.
You forget I got a gun now. Drop it. Come back, Stevenson. Come back! Come back! You can't hide on this ship. You're at the gunwale, man. You can't go any farther.
I'll make a deal with you. There's a fortune in gold.
No, it's not yours. No more deals. I'm coming after you.
No!
All right, Skipper.
Yeah, fine, Bob. But Stevenson just went over the side. Can you see him?
Sure, the water's clear for...
Piranha. Slashing at him from all sides.
Oh, you're trying to scare off the fish now. He's gone down.
Yeah, he's down to the last bar of gold for which Maxson was murdered.
It's a terrible death. Even for him, Skipper.
Yeah, fate has a way of figuring out these things. I don't think the rest of the crew will bother us with their leaders dead. Start the winches. I'll go down and put the propellers back on. The voyage home was swift and peaceful. We brought Gribau's body back and reported the death of Stevenson. There'd always been suspicion that he murdered Maxson, but no proof. Now the case was closed. All that remained was getting $400,000 to Mrs. Maxson. Our share, $200,000, was a bigger reward than I'd hoped for. Yes, there's gold to be found. This time, we found it.
Out of the Deep has come the Amazon episode. Another strange story based on the true life adventures of Captain Gunnar Carlisle, noted deep sea diver and soldier of fortune. Out of the Deep is produced and directed by Warren Lewis. The script was written by David Noensen. Wally Mayer played Captain Carlisle, with Ed Max as Charlie Bartlett. This is a presentation of the NBC Hollywood Program Department.